And now, your official TigerBait Postgame Show with Mike Scarborough and Preston Guy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in. LSU defeats South Carolina 20-10. And really, I guess at this point is probably where most people thought LSU's record would be. But like the title says of the show, there's no style points. Something I've said for a couple of weeks, and I think it's probably going to be the case the whole rest of the season is I don't know if there's going to be any beautiful wins. I don't know there's going to be a game where the offense looks like something that they're not. A lot to be excited about tonight, or maybe let's say a little bit more optimistic about. Certainly, I think LSU won the game by a bigger margin than the score says. You got to pick up clean up those turnovers, and I think Brian Kelly and I can tell you, having walked out the stadium and was near the facility where all the players were at as they left the stadium, they were all pretty darn upbeat. But look, there's some tough football games ahead. At Vanderbilt ain't going to be easy next week. Texas A&M is going to come in here. How high are they going to be ranked? Size third, maybe higher. Where is this in the great starts of Texas A&M history? They ain't had many much better than this start to a season. And so anyways, let's get started. Please hit the like button if you're enjoying the show as you watch us, and share it to your Facebook feed. And Preston, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, a little bit of a frustrating night because there was certainly a lot to like about the offensive production in terms of the improvement that you saw from this team. There was some really good improvement. You had 420 yards. You ran the ball for 166 yards. Nussmeier looked the best he's looked all year. He threw the ball deep, and he did it well, although there was a couple drops there, especially the Chris Hilton drop was particularly disappointing. And, he actually ran the ball the best he's ran the ball as LSU's quarterback. So there was quite a bit I liked about the offensive production. Of course, the defense has just been lights out as we expected all year. One big play for South Carolina, and that is basically their entire offensive output for the night. The frustrating part, though, is three very poorly timed turnovers. And why do I say they're poorly timed? Well, first off, two of them were right at the goal line, right when you were knocking on the door of scoring. But look, here's the drive summaries on those turnovers. 13 plays, 71 yards, fumble on the 1 yard line. 7 plays, 32 yards, boneheaded interception from Nussmeier where Kyle Parker was open, but he just sailed it way over his head and the DB caught it 5 yards behind him. And then a 6-play, 83-yard drive that ends in a Garrett Nussmeier interception. They actually got the ball on the 1. So it's very frustrating to see 3 very promising drives where you're moving the ball down the field and you just shoot yourself in the foot.
Yep. All right, Brad DeVete says, what's with the late start, guys? This is probably about right when we start. I usually gauge our start time by how stuck I am on Nicholson Drive, and I'm listening to Charlie and Richard Dixon get started their show. And if I make it home and pull in the driveway for us to go live, and there may be a few minutes into their show, that's typically where we're at. Sometimes we'll go live before they do. And I'm listening to the official LSU postgame show on the drive-in. By the way, that's going to bring up another point just real quick. Something's got to be done about Nicholson Drive. They've got to get some lights up. That is some dangerous. I'm telling you, I think I'm no less than 1,000 to 1,500 LSU age kids walking on each side of Nicholson Drive in the dark between what's the road where Fred's is at? What's the name of that road? Is that Pettit? What is that?
Yeah, Pettit or Taylor, something like that.
What in between there and Lee, and then even beyond Lee, just on the side of the road. To me, something bad's going to happen there. They've got to get some lights up there for those college age kids to be able to see where they're at and what else, what other criminal stuff could happen there. But anyways, This is usually about the time we start. Back to the question. Alex Ezel, 3 turnovers, killed the opportunity for a blowout, but thought offense looked better. Defense is still elite. Defense gives up the one big run play, but other than that, did everything they could against a big-time quarterback. I know South Carolina fans really are they probably feel that their offensive line is worse than LSU's been all season long. And so, yeah. 53449, hit the like button, guys. I think Nuss still has a lot of improvement to make as well. With that being said, left guard and right tackle aren't cutting it. Yeah, Weston Davis. My phone's been blowing up about him all night. We were talking about it in the press box.
Oh, yeah.
He is really having a rough go of it. And with the rough go he's having, what does it say about the fact that they're not sitting him down and giving someone else another look? What does that say about what they think of the depth behind him, that they continue to roll him out there? I mean, he really
he was on skates all night. Dylan Stewart absolutely dominated. And by the way, I did ask Coach Beamer, because I do the visitor post-game lockers most home games, and he was very excited about the impact that Dylan Stewart had tonight. Not much else he was excited about, but that he had a good answer for. Yeah,
LSU recruited Dylan Stewart.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they were. Yep. There's actually a few guys on that South Carolina. Nick Harbor, another guy they recruited. A few guys on that roster they wanted.
No, I did not catch it. We were in the. I don't get to hear what they say. Who Dat Tigers wasn't pretty but encouraging. I agree. I just don't. I don't know if there's going to be. You're going to have to win ugly all season long. And like BK says, it's a win, and I think you're going to have to be happy with that. Yes, D. Scott Riggs. Finally, someone got the memo to get the ball to Green, and I've got interview to post after the show on him, and he was brought out to talk to the media. He had an excellent game, and BK was very ecstatic about him in the post game and the game he had tonight. Gary Williams, the score should have been 40-10. I'm over the BK era.
It's probably the most gloom and doom I've seen LSU fans over a 5-1 football team that'll be in the top 10, but with good reason. It's very frustrating what we're watching this season.
Yeah. 5-1 football team. And I wonder what, if you did a legit poll of Louisiana residents or LSU fans, season ticket holders, and I wonder what BK's approval rating would be.
Not high.
Wouldn't be high.
No.
Not high.
No.
I
haven't done everybody exit polling for that, but yeah.
Yeah, we're here each and every week thanks to our good friend Kenny Haines. He's been our post-game sponsor since day one. Let's hear from him.
Kenny Haines is a proud 1989 graduate of LSU Law School with a passion for justice. Kenny stands out as the only lawyer in the state, board certified in both appellate practice and family law. Drawing from 34 years of trial experience, Kenny has navigated the most complex aspects of real people's lives. If you need help in Northwest Louisiana with a family issue, legal issue, or a highly skilled trial attorney, call Kenny, 318-222-2100.
That Kenny Haines, of course, is the official, unofficial lawyer of TigerBait.com, and he reserves the right to think most clearly for a paying client. And get up tomorrow and go to the best brunch spot in Baton Rouge. Go to Capital City Grill. You see it on the screen. Man, that chicken and waffles looks good. I could tear that up right now. And again, downtown Baton Rouge. 100 Lafayette Street, a fantastic brunch menu. The brunch is served from 11 to 2 p.m. You can get the regular lunch fare between 11 and 3. And if you don't like brunch, they've got hamburgers and po' boys and the French dip sandwich. Great desserts. I always tell you guys to get the carrot cake to go. And but I think we're heading there tomorrow. We've been hitting it pretty consistently on Sundays. Just an incredible brunch over at Capital City Grill, downtown Baton Rouge, 100 Lafayette Street. Please tell your waiter or the hostess that TigerBait sent you in. All right, let's get some more comments here. Guys, you could hear Coach Kelly yell at Nuss to just run the play as it's called. Does this indicate Nuss went rogue, especially on the pick in the end zone? Brian Kelly said that if you go watch his comments, the post game's up on our channel, and he kind of wisecracked a little bit about it, but yeah, he said that was on Nuss, but he tried to do it with some humor. Should have blown them out. 2 turnovers on the goal line and couldn't punch it in on the 2-yard line. Yeah, they were sick over that. Kelly knows they're barely skating by, says Ed Flores. Steven Stokes must play better next week and even better the next week in order to be undefeated in October. Man, Texas A&M, again, that is going to be super tough. Chris Melder, can this please feel like a post-game show after a win? Every other podcast is doom and gloom. You're fine. Man, Chris, I know, man. It's hard. The high expectations for this team, and when you're watching the rest of the SEC and the rest of the country, I mean, seriously.
Well,
when you watch college football, there's a real opportunity. I mean, who is the great team in college football, Preston?
Texas A&M. No, there's none.
Ohio State is
yeah. If you're going to make me pick one, yeah.
And by the way, they're beatable.
Yeah, for sure. Julian Sayan's doing really good things there, and that defense is incredible. That defense might be better than LSU's defense. They're very good this year. I think they've given up something like 50 points this season. It's legit. That being said, here's the deal. Yes, LSU got a win, and you never apologize for an SEC win. You just don't. You win SEC games, good. Move on to the next one. That being said, the team didn't play well enough to get where you need to get. And Mike, you're saying the expectations are sky high for this. Are they? I feel like the fan base has a very reasonable expectation for what this program is. Make the playoffs. That's the expectation.
I'm not talking about where their expectations are now. I think most fans have resigned themselves to the fact that what was the bowl projection earlier this week? ReliaQuest Bowl, yeah. I mean, we're in the press box before kickoff, and we've got a Citrus Bowl rep stopping by to say hello and introduce himself.
Oh, he loves him some LSU.
I'm gonna tell you right now, 70-80% of the LSU fan base, and a lot of them are homers, don't think this team's a playoff team, despite only having 1 loss right now. But what were we thinking? I mean, look, I had LSU preseason 9-3. I adjusted it to 11-1 after the win over Clemson. Then we started to see what was what and what was legit. And
yeah.
And look, I think what's frustrating is we can talk about Weston Davis and Thompson and making changes on the offensive line. And I think there's some legit, very good offensive linemen there. They should be playing better. You've got running backs. Caden Durham's one of the best backs in the country.
Well, Mike, if you've got some good offensive linemen there, why are they so putrid as a unit?
I think it's time for a change there. That's why.
I agree. You've had 5 years of sample size there.
I'm sorry. Brad Davis has not got it done.
Sorry.
And I'm not going to pin it on,
in 5 years, who has been the consistent running threat for LSU from a running back spot, not a quarterback who just takes off and does his thing. We all know what Jaden Daniels did for LSU. What running back has been able to consistently run the ball at LSU in 5 years?
None of them.
Bingo.
None of them.
Bingo.
Right. And that's Brad Davis. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And by the way, these offensive linemen, we can go one by one. There was some that, I'll say this. I'll put it to you this way. If every offensive lineman that's been starting for LSU that has eligibility left got in the portal, they would have a lot of takers.
Oh,
The
yeah.
who's who of college football would want every single
Well,
one.
Mike, Brad Davis has had 8 NFL linemen since he got to LSU. 8 guys have been drafted into the NFL. He's had good players.
Right.
He just hadn't had good productivity. Hadn't had good college players.
Yep. But now here I go. I'm being negative after a win.
Well, hold up. I do want to address that comment we just got about, let's not be negative. Let's sounds like it's a win. Let's not be doom and gloom. Guys, we respond to the comments. So, if you put out some positive comments, we'll respond to them accordingly. Like it's very comment and feedback driven show, guys.
LSU Tiger in Georgia. No knock on Johnson, but it's concerning that our number 2 back was even slated for the position at the start of the season. We have a running back issue. I think it's been a combination of bad luck. I brought it up multiple times in spring. I thought they should have got a portal running back. And then that really reared its ugly head when Lindsey had his legal issues. You had the same issue with Trey Holly the year before that. And then it's all offensive line as well.
I also think the rotation, though, Mike. The rotation is pretty brutal, don't you think?
Yep. Eric R. Scratch out the wins and make gradual improvement. That's the nature of this season. Ed Flores' LSU defense is always decent. The offensive needs work. I could argue that was Sloan's best called game. I think he had a great plan. Look, Juwan Johnson doesn't fumble, and you don't throw that pick on the 1 yard line in the end zone.
There's a lot to like. That's the frustrating part.
And you want to talk about really singing a different tune, right? We'd be singing a different tune as well, more upbeat after a win.
Also, at the very end of the game, you got conservative there and ran the ball. Now, you should be able to punch it in for 1 yard at the end of the game, but you settled for a field goal late, knowing that just milk the clock and go up 2 scores. I get it.
Look, you would you like to throw it in the back of the end zone and hit Trades Green and make it a 14-point, or do you go conservative and see if you can punch it in, but you know that you can absolutely get a Ramos field goal to put it out of reach?
No, in that situation, yeah, of course. No, it's excusable. Although, again, I would really like to see you just be able to punch it in and get that 1 yard. But in the second quarter, yeah, do the Trades thing you were talking about for sure.
Yep. LSU Beer obviously showed signs, but 6 game in, it's tough to see enough improvement for success past 13 and 14 games. LSU fans need to shut up or go look at FSU and Penn State, says Fire 3449. Hal Jubin says you got a better shot at winning the lottery. Yeah.
Speaking of Penn State, I wonder what Jerry Neuheil's eligibility to be hired next season is. That kid is having a great year at UCLA.
Brad V, Mike, did you get a chance to watch? Yeah, I did. I watched, peeked in on just about all of them, except I didn't get to peek in on Auburn and Georgia. Other than seeing clips of their AD going berserk on the refs. Good for him. Good for him, by the way. Can you imagine Woodward doing that?
Nope. Can't imagine very many ADs doing that. I've actually never seen another AD.
Hal, he was just kind of laughing about him being a good football player. Not sure about basketball. He was making a joke. Kenny Como, biggest frustration to me is every week we're getting dominated physically. We aren't physical enough, soft.
On one side of the ball, yes.
Yep. That's just the offensive line.
Yeah.
And to me, that's technique, and that's Brad Davis. I'm sorry. I usually don't like calling for that kind of stuff, but man, enough is enough.
Yeah, I really don't like calling for a grown man to lose his job, but I can voice my concerns and say I don't approve of the job he's done over 5 years.
What's crazy is having, covered recruiting all these years and to see how well they've recruited offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And to have numbers, to consistently have great size, a bunch of guys that are not carrying bad weight, have all the measurables. You beat your peer group out for each one of them. These kids all had offers to go other places, and yet they're being squandered. Again, we can pick somebody out and say they're, Weston Davis obviously is going to have another terrible PFF grade tomorrow. But the other offensive linemen that have eligibility left, if they all got in the portal, I say it again, they would all have big time options and make big bank. Ed Flores, all it takes is one loss to miss the college football playoffs. Are the whiteouts elite?
It does not take one loss to miss the college football playoff.
LSU can only afford one more.
Can only afford one more. That's right.
Animator, this O-line needs time to gel. We are at 6 weeks in, and they still look like week 0. Yeah.
Look like week -3.
Yeah. Eric R., when was the last time a running back got 20-plus carries in a game? Did Clyde ever get anything like that in 19?
I don't think so. Tyrion Davis Price, I know that for sure before. He got like 35 against Florida. I mean, it's probably happened a couple times during the BK tenure. I just don't know off the top of my head. I mean, Durham had 15 tonight.
Venkat Liar, or is that Iyer? Brad Davis just hasn't shown the ability to develop offensive line. Yep. Even last year's unit with first round and mid-round picks couldn't run block effectively. Doesn't BK see what all us fans are seeing? He does. And it's just embarrassing. I mean, that's his claim to fame. I mean, that's his baby. Offensive lineman. He produced a lot of it at Notre Dame. Notre Dame always could run the football and produce draft picks on the offensive line. He's got the numbers. They've done a great job since he's been here recruiting them. They just haven't put it together.
Yep.
And the first 2 years, Jaden Daniels hid that fact with his legs.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Yep. Brian Burns, 106 yards rushing is a positive.
Huge
but what
positive.
did you have? Isn't it the deal where three of the runs were 100 yards? But that's still good.
Well, you had a long of 56 for Johnson. You had a long of 23 for Durham and a long of 21 for Nussmeier. So right there, that is about 100. But, I mean, when you get to the point where you're pulling out 3 outliers, I do like to take out your number 1 outlier when evaluating. But let's say you take out the 56, okay? Well, then you rushed for on 29 carries, $110. That's not awful.
Yeah, we're not going to cry about it for an hour and a half.
Win's a win, man. And by the way, the good news is you doubled their score and you should have beat them by more. Okay, there's a handful of plays which carried South Carolina to keeping this game close. Outside of a handful of plays, you dominated this football
team. By the way, yeah. And if Juwan Johnson doesn't fumble and there's no that interception, what is the tone tonight post game?
Oh, I mean, you're very excited.
Look, everybody's glad to have the win. Let's not kid ourselves. They're just looking ahead and really worried about what's coming in the coming weeks.
That's right. And there's a lot to be concerned with. I will say this. Imagine those 2 short field goals. You convert them for touchdowns. Okay. Imagine Juwan Johnson doesn't fumble that play. Imagine Nussmeier doesn't throw the interception in the end zone. Imagine Nussmeier doesn't throw the other boneheaded interception. Imagine Fuller doesn't rip off a freak 72-yard touchdown on this defense. Guys, this is very easily just a handful of plays goes differently, and this could be an absolute blowout. And here's the thing, what I really liked about tonight. Okay, we're talking about the game against Ole Miss. How many plays have to be fixed to get your offense rolling the way you need it against Ole Miss? The answer is an astronomical amount. Against South Carolina, there's you flip 4 or 5 plays around, and LSU's offense is cruising tonight. So there's much less to fix in terms of volume. However, what you do have to fix was more catastrophic tonight.
I commented, did I see BK with a play sheet tonight? Yes, you did. But we have no idea of knowing how involved he was, or was he listening in most of the time? Did he change something 2 or 3 times? We're never going to know that answer. And look, I'm going to be truthful. It's not like I've been zeroing in on that every week. But I do think he was a bit more tuned in and eavesdropping, let's say. But man, it could be where he changed 6 or 8 plays. I have no idea. Or maybe he's telling Sloan, this is what I want here.
Here's the deal that I noticed a couple times during the play calling selection. He was certainly talking. He was engaged and discussing, headset down, play sheet up, reading it beforehand. I mean, it's impossible, like you said, impossible to know how involved he was, but he was certainly giving some input. He doesn't always have a play sheet, by the way. And I think that clearly the trust is being put on a leash. And I'll say this, it is a encouraging sign if your head football coach is getting involved with the offense and it seems to get a little bit better. It is at least encouraging. By the way, man, you got to get a new profile picture there. We can't be rolling with Aaron Hernandez. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I was looking at that. All right. Dykes Electrical, everybody, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs might be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse that you need built, they can wire that. Expanding your existing commercial building, changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, just a receptacle, upgrading the old lighting in your home or office, they can wire all of that. Give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. And please, again, like all our sponsors, let them know that TigerBait sent you in. And here it is on the screen, everybody. Genesis of Lafayette, new 2025 Genesis GV80, 2.99% APR for 60 months on the GV80, and on the GV70 the same, 2.99, and that's on the 2026s that have begun to arrive. Just fantastic rates at Genesis of Lafayette. Again, your premier luxury dealership, 6600 Johnson Street, and in Lafayette. Check them out at genesisoflafayette.com or call them at 877-856-2961 and tell them that TigerBait sent you in. Again, we say it every show. There is a reason why they absolutely sell more Genesis vehicles than any other Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana. It's because they make great deals. They're going to give you a great amount for your trade. And there's no haggling. Just absolutely fantastic people and huge LSU fans over at Genesis of Lafayette. And got to talk about a new great oyster spot in Baton Rouge. That's Baye's Oyster Bar, downtown Baton Rouge, and 315 North Boulevard. They got the freshest farm-raised oysters from Grand Isle. No mud, no grit, just clean, delicious flavor. And if you're not wanting oysters, they got fantastic boiled shrimp. My favorite, the turkey, brie, and bacon sandwich is out of this world. The classic roast beef. I'm telling you, they put a pound of beef on there. Fully stocked bar, complete with top-notch bourbon, whiskey, and a massive craft beer selection. So don't miss out on Baton Rouge's newest oyster spot, and let them know that TigerBait sent you in. All right, let's get some more comments in. Ed Flores, 17-10 to win against Clemson, who is below average. That one ain't enough.
I don't think Ed Flores is very happy tonight.
Yeah. Alex Ezo, I'm honestly more worried we'll have a new DC. No shot Baker doesn't get. Yeah, I brought that up earlier tonight in the press box. There is so many things this offseason with this LSU football program. And again, it's like this everywhere. LSU, it's not like it's LSU's the only one. But that unreal job that Austin Thomas did last year, he's got to top that and then some. And you have one returning starter back on that defense. So you have to look at who's the backups, which of the backups are guys that you project to be able to step in and be starters that you currently have, your high school guys, the guys that you sign out of high school, which of those guys are guys. So the needs on defense, now you got to do it on the offensive side of the ball. How many of these fantastic wide receivers that still have eligibility left, with the way things have gone this season, are thinking, I'm getting in the portal? You're going to need a top flight quarterback. The schedule,
that's big money.
Yeah. You spent $20 million last year. Okay. How much you got to spend for next year to be respectable?
Well, more, because there's revenue sharing too now.
Yeah, but that was part of their factor in this year's budget.
Right. But isn't it stepping up to even more money next year? The cap is increasing. So anyways, you need to spend a lot of money. It is a daunting task. You're right now, just including WIT weeks and your seniors, it's looking like you're going to lose 15 starters.
The money's going to be unreal, Preston, because if this season goes away, we're thinking, how many coaches on the offensive side of the ball are going to be replaced?
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of them, and you're going to have to invest money in that big time too.
And by the way, a lot of these coaches, if you do that, still have years left, so you're buying them out.
And I hope, I don't know, I hope.
And then you have to go give 2 and 3 year guaranteed contracts to new coaches.
Right. What's also scary is we're talking about having a new DC as well. Think about how many like mid Power 5 jobs are open that would 100% love to extend an offer to an elite DC like Blake Baker. I mean, you got Virginia Tech, UCLA, although it looks like their interim is going to have a really good shot, Oklahoma State, and Arkansas. I would say 3 out of 4 of those jobs would love to give Blake Baker a look as a head coach. Be careful.
Yep. Again, Mike, I'm worried we might lose Coach Baker to a head coaching job. Heck, if it came out to that, I'd let Kelly go and make Baker the head coach. I'm buying lotto tickets to pay for his buyout. Yeah, Blake Baker's name is going to be a hot commodity. There's a whole lot of scenarios that can play out. It's going to be an interesting next 3 months.
Oh, yeah. The fact that there's 4 jobs he would be an eligible candidate for right now, it's a little concerning. Florida hadn't even brought the hammer down on Napier yet, and they can't all hire Lane Kiffin,
Shannon Williams, one of my classmates, the mental mistakes by Nussmeier are inexcusable.
You
Big
can
LSU
talk about
fan, Shannon.
You can talk about injuries all you want. I mean, we're talking about a 5th-year senior coach of son of a coach. The mental errors are they're enough to drive you nuts with Nussmeier.
Drew Causey with a super chat. Wilbur needs to help Kelly overhaul the staff. What do you guys think about begging Moffitt back? Am I the last person to ask about Jake Flint by name? And that would be last year. And that's when BK rattled off all the numbers and the statistics about improvement in the weight room.
Is Jake Flint the problem?
I'm not. I don't think he is.
I don't think so. And look,
Nope.
I even talked to some Notre Dame guys who I might have some very public beef with right now. And he was a big fan of Jake Flint leaving Notre Dame, said he's real big on data and technology and all that. And it certainly seems to show through with Brian Kelly, the way he talks about that. I don't know that strength and conditioning is a problem. I think that your offensive line development is a problem. I think it's on the field coaching.
Carvis Door, he's always one of my favorite posters. You will bring back a lot of talent and starters on the offensive line.
Well,
Look, man, you got to go. Huh?
You lose two.
Yeah,
seniors.
but you got to negotiate with all these guys. And if you make a change there, do they stick around and wait to see who you hire if you do something? I mean, there's scenarios with all these kids.
I don't really like the whole conversation in this day and age of who you're going to bring back. You don't know. You could lose everybody. I mean, the portal is just too wide open. You could lose your entire offensive line.
Yeah, Nuss is what he is, and it's hurting a championship caliber roster.
Can Moore come back? He's a senior. Does he have like some sort of, I don't know.
No, he's done.
Super COVID year or something like that. I don't know. He's listed as a senior.
Those COVID years are gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I don't see
Larry
why he would be able to
Garlaska, 11 a.m. Yeah. Do you think game day would be at Vanderbilt?
No. There's a big matchup I saw. Like I think like A&M and someone next week. I saw a really big matchup. I'm having trouble remembering. I'll see if I can pull that up for y'all. I want to say it was A&M is playing someone really big next week.
But you know,
Ole Miss? Is it A&M and Ole Miss next week? I think A&M and Ole Miss next week.
Yeah, but game day likes to do things where they go somewhere they've never been before, or
they do that sometimes. But
I wouldn't hold my breath on it, but I bet it's up for discussion when they debate it.
No, A&M's at Arkansas, Ole Miss at Georgia. That'll be a top 10 matchup. I don't know. Actually, Tennessee at Alabama. That one will be intriguing. Thin chance. I'll call it that. We'll call it a thin chance, but a chance.
Brian Burgess, Nuss seems like he was making mental mistakes that a freshman would.
Yep.
Anthony Berry, Mansour Delane was a big hit in the portal. That guy is the best cover corner in the country. DBU is back. You know, just wish you had a year or two more of eligibility for him.
Yep.
He was a great post-game interview. I'll have that up on YouTube here shortly. Kenny Como, let Atkins coach the offensive line and Davis focus on recruiting.
You know, look, if you're going to make a change, I wouldn't mind keeping Davis around to help out with recruiting. He's an excellent recruiter. I just don't think he's been doing a good job developing the players. And same goes for Sloan. If you were to make a change at OC, I wouldn't mind keeping Sloan around as QB coach. I think both of them are great guys and bring a lot to the program. I just think in their current roles, there might be some issues. They're having struggles. Let's put it like that.
Zach Nate, someone asked about Mike's incredible kicks from tonight. Zach liked my Air Force Ones I was wearing. You two guys got a big show Monday night.
Yep, we'll be here Monday night at 8 p.m.
What do you think the spread will be for the Vanderbilt game on the road? Is that almost like a pick 'em?
LSU -6.5.
You think?
That's just my guess. I don't know. I'm not a big bettor.
Yeah, me either. Animator said there, I truly believe Denbrock made Brian Kelly, and now we see he isn't the offensive genius like they advertised him as. Man, there's so many factors in what we're seeing now. And it's LSU 3.5, by the way.
Plus or minus? I would assume.
Well, then Anthony Berry says Vandy minus 1.5, but I'll go with Zach's number.
Well, Zach didn't give a plus or minus, so rookie move there.
You want to put some up there, Preston? Any comments?
Let's see here. Brian Burgess says he loves the tiger head behind me. You know, it is actually very funny how many comments I get on that tiger head. I get it from
real quick. Someone mentioned it. Braylon Moore is a redshirt junior.
Oh, is he?
He does have another year. That's correct. I could have
sworn I saw senior next to him. Well, you got to fight to keep him because he's been probably your best offensive lineman. By the way, I'm seeing spreads all
over. How many centers go pro early?
I mean, a handful. You're not going to see. Here's the thing about centers: very rarely are they first-round draft picks to begin with. So a lot of times it's like, what's the point?
Hopefully, with NIL, you can hold on to him. He would be a great one to hold on to.
I'm looking at a bunch of things. They have Vanderbilt favored by like 1.5 to 2.5 on a lot of services here. Is that right? Man.
Dwayne D, I've cut a lot of my sports watching and let things just roll off my back. Takes a lot to get me flustered, yet Nuss sure seems to do it. Yeah, I got a lot of messages tonight during the game from folks just like you. Guys I grew up with, just couldn't take much of it anymore. And when I'm looking forward to more fall baseball coverage. D. Thornton at Kelly is just not it for LSU. LSU not getting its money worth out of him as of right now. Anthony Berry, they finally put Nuss under center, and after the bye week, and it looked a mess. They really ran a quarterback sneak from the goal line and did move an inch. Shaking my head, these offensive schemes are horrendous.
I almost wonder if you should use Juwan Johnson for quarterback sneaks. I get not wanting to take him out, but like when it's a very obvious QB sneak and you're not trying to maintain the ability to do, just use Juwan Johnson.
If Juwan Johnson didn't fumble tonight, what will be talking about the game he had?
Oh, I mean, we'd be very excited about him, but I don't.
And there's still reason to be excited about him. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what, now that he's a running back, and then he gets to train that way in the off season,
a whole off season,
and we get to see what he looks like next year. I'm really excited for that kid.
But I like
super young man.
I liked his Wildcat quarterback rep too, by the way. I think he ran pretty well. I wonder why they used Malachi Lane there as the, I guess, effectively a lead blocker, but he was your halfback there for him. I guess maybe they think he's the best blocker, but it seems like you could have gone with a big body guy like Caleb Jackson or something like that. But that's what they went with. I would like to see Juwan Johnson incorporated more. Why is he your goal line running back, though? Seems like Caden Durham or someone else would be a better option on short yardage.
Let me check, unless I missed it. Am I right? Caleb Jackson, nothing tonight?
Oh, no. Yeah, he didn't get a touch.
Nope.
They're over him.
Yep. And I said that last week. With that drop past, I in my mind, if I was an LSU coach, I'd be like, that's it.
Yep.
And I hate it. I hate that for him. I love Caleb Jackson.
I like him too. He's a good kid. But he had a year to get in shape and trim down, and he hasn't. He's still a big, bulking guy who lost his acceleration. He was 205 in high school, and he was a stud. And now he's a good 225, 230, and he can't move the same. And by the way, if you're going to bulk up to 225, 230, you got to lower a shoulder and run through guys. If you're just going straight to the ground every time, he can't break a tackle. He can't run through someone.
Carvis, when you look at those names you're listing, I mean, that shows you how well Brad Davis is recruited. I mean, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought Echols looked good tonight. I want to go back and watch it, but he looked like he was doing some really nice things.
Great job recruiting. Great job putting guys in the NFL. Not a great job developing run blockers.
Exactly, Slander Pot. Almost all the other top 10 teams, including SC, have been having struggling wins against teams they shouldn't. And look, that's going to be probably the way college football looks from here on out, because of NIL and roster turnover and teams taking forever to come together.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, we talk about it in men's and women's college basketball. You bring in all these newcomers, and how long is it going to take for them to gel and play like a team? Same thing. All the sports. Jay Johnson deals with the same questions. Dwayne D. Nuss had a year to trim down, learn to play about, get time with wide receivers, use the VR, hit the weight room. Jackson is peanuts compared to that, yet Nuss will never get pulled. And I love that Indiana smoked Oregon. That was so awesome.
Signetti, he wins games. Google him.
Yeah, he's 64 years old.
Is he really?
It looks like he's using the same hair dye that Ryan Day uses on his beard. The kind that after he washes it a few times, it'll be red like the hair coloring that Les Miles used to use. Fresh popper pineapple. A win is a win. College football is an overly pessimistic sport, and it's weird. People love to be miserable about it. I'm happy with 5-1 and an amazing defense. I like it. A great photo of Joe Burrow. It looks like he's in the produce section at a grocery store.
That was a meme of him when he was a rookie. He picked up a pineapple. I don't know the rest of the meme, but it was funny.
You know, I was thinking tonight, like normally when something like goes on with Indiana beating Oregon, you know, I'll know somebody in a particular market, or I'll know the guy who runs a website. I don't know anybody who's a fan of the Indiana Hoosiers. Do you? That's like the one fan base or market or that I don't know anybody that I can say, man, congratulations on the win. But good for them. I mean, how many firsts was that for them? I know it's the biggest win on the road in program history. That they've never beaten a top 5 team on the road.
I mean, they're in uncharted territory as far as I'm aware. Has Indiana ever won a championship or done anything of significance?
Good for them. Good for them. I'm enjoying it.
Kirk Signetti is going to be a hot name for some top program. Look for maybe a team like Florida if they're making a move. Maybe they go for him. Who knows?
Maybe he'll stay there. 64 years old. Maybe he'll stay there.
It's possible, but I would also assume at 64 he probably wants to be at a school where he thinks he can win a championship. Can he do that in Indiana?
Man, build it. Let it be. Build it. Let it be your baby. I bet you they've got people who are willing to shell out. Make it yours. I mean, you know, have another couple of years like this. Heck, right now they probably want to build a statue for him.
Yeah, well, or you could go to a school like Florida, get you a nice, 5-year, $60 million contract, fully guaranteed.
Man, the hell with that. Stay at Indiana.
Worst case scenario, you get to get the best job in all of America, a fired football coach.
Mm-hmm. Carvis
Nice
Jordan, another wide
retirement
receiver
money.
outside of Barron Brown, can do what Hilton does. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, Carvis. I think 3 or 4 times a game you need to throw it deep to Hilton, because at a minimum, I think at least once a game, if you throw it that often to him, you're going to get a pass interference call.
Well, you did get one tonight. You did get one. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to keep. That's why you do it. And he'll catch his share.
The Hilton drop was particularly frustrating because this defense has had so many issues. One time you struggle with pass pro. Next Nussmeier can't throw the ball deep. Finally, you get those right. You hit Hilton in stride. He's open, and he drops it. Very frustrating to see that.
I'm going to do something real quick. I want to see what Indiana's schedule looks like. I'm real curious.
Can we pop
go
up
ahead.
a comment while you do that? Let's see.
Yeah, do that.
Dwayne D, what happened to Nuss? He got engaged in his money championship year. Burrow and JD5 would never. Well, I don't know that JD5's mom lets him date anybody, and
they're sitting pretty, man. Well, tell me this. Look, they got that UCLA team in a couple of weeks in Bloomington.
UCLA blew out Michigan State today.
So Indiana UCLA looks like that could be a big game. And I guess if they do what they're supposed to do, they wouldn't see Ohio State until the championship game, the league championship game, because they're not on the schedule. They're in good shape, man. They could very well win out. Penn State at Penn State, but James Franklin shits the bed all the time. There it is
for the year. There's your one for the year, Mike.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I mean, look, they've lost. Is that 3 straight games they've lost? By the way, I saw a stat on Penn State today. They're the first team in modern college football history to lose back-to-back games as 20-point favorites.
What would our post-game shows be like if we were covering James Franklin and Penn State?
A lot.
What would
more,
talk radio be like?
A lot more viewed. We'd be killing it. We'd be killing it.
Because it's. I mean, I don't know. I wonder what they're like over there on their sports talk shows. Do they hammer the guy because he can never win anything of significance?
We can't win things of insignificance either, apparently, because he's lost 2 straight games as 20-point favorites. Yeah, it's a funky year, and by the way, a funky time in college football. I mean, 3 of your top 5 in the preseason are unranked currently: Clemson and Penn State and Texas. Well, Texas might be returning to the top 25. Big win over a injured John Mateer Oklahoma team today.
Anthony Berry, Indiana has a cakewalk for the rest of the year. Guy on CBS said the O-line and D-line is better than Bama and Georgia.
Interesting.
I'm pulling for him.
Does Indiana, do they have like a ton of money or something? Is there NIL like cooking or something like that?
I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant on
I
them.
don't know much about.
But I want to read up and find out what the whole story is. But good for them. All right. Let's see.
Carver's Durr said a comment here. They might end up undefeated. Shake my head. Which okay, I will say this. Thank God for the 12-team college football playoff, because teams like that, if Indiana, they get their big win over Oregon and then they get a cakewalk. And again, in the Big Ten, there's 18 teams. Sometimes you're going to roll the die and get a cakewalk. Now these teams that are 12-0 but didn't have a good schedule, they're going to be in the playoffs, but they're going to have to beat multiple teams before they just, cakewalk. Remember Notre Dame in 2012? A lot of people didn't believe in them, but it's an undefeated Notre Dame team. You're going to stick them in the championship. We don't have that same problem anymore. Although Mike still loves the BCS guys.
I do. Just go back to the BCS. It always worked.
Ask Ohio State how they feel about the BCS this year.
Stroubes, everybody. It's the place to be if you're looking for a high-end seafood and steakhouse. Stroubes Seafood and Steaks, 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Again, locally owned, fresh ingredients. They use specialty meats, including USDA prime black Angus steaks, 100% certified Wagyu New York strip, and they've got a great seafood menu. Go to Stroubes.com. They got the complete menu there for you to look at. Great desserts made in-house. And like I always tell you, I'll get the lamb lollipops as an appetizer, the crawfish mac and cheese as a side. And book your reservation online at Stroubes.com. let them know TigerBait set you in. Again, 107 3rd Street. Just really, really great food. One of your finer steakhouses in Louisiana, and they're really priced well. You just cannot beat the Stroubes when it comes to a great steakhouse and seafood experience. And Alumni Hall, of course, one of our great sponsors in Perkins Row. They've got all the stuff you're looking for. Get a little cool front tonight. It's going to get a little cooler in the coming weeks. They've got all the new quarter zips from Nike, Champion, Johnny O, On Reserve, Peter Millar, and more great polos. Go visit their store in Perkins Row. And when you go to the register to check out, say TigerBait, and you're always going to get 10% off your purchase. No matter how many times you go in there, you can use TigerBait every single time. Or if you're shopping online at alumnihall.com, use TigerBait in the promo box. You'll always get 10% off. Free shipping on orders over $99. And the mix and match 2 for $38 LSU champion brand t-shirts. They got 2 or 3 tables of those right when you walk in the front door. Great designs. Men's, women's, and youth size are on that deal. And so, again, get over to Alumni Hall and tell them that TigerBait sent you in, and use that code that I always tell you all to use, TigerBait. All right, Preston, anything we need to add before we – yeah, they got windbreakers. Yeah, okay. All right, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
One thing I think that we saw a lot of progress with this offense tonight. I think that one of the things you did was kind of show a little more consistency with who you're targeting. Got the ball to Trades Green, guys. I hope this team shows a little bit more identity and can kind of find these things that are working now for the team and really go after them and start to develop some offense, guys. I will be back Monday night at 8 p.m. with Zach to discuss. I'd appreciate it if y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification for live stream so you always know when to catch us.
That's it. All right. And Buddy and I'll be here Wednesday night. And I'm curious to see what the Bud Man thought about this one. And we'll have BK on Monday. We're going to be reaching out to a bunch of recruits that were there today. Kim Mulkey had some recruits, Jay Johnson as well. It was a big recruiting weekend in multiple sports at LSU. And we're going to see what we can find out on all that for you. And we'll have that all for you on tigerbait.com. BK Beamer up on our YouTube channel. I'm about to upload Trey White, Mansour Delane, and who else did I get? Pyburn. I have those 3 player interviews about to get loaded up as soon as I get off here, up on our YouTube and our Facebook page. And again, please subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed the show, and please go over to tigerbait.com and subscribe. $1 our 1 week trial period. Choose the annual package. We'd love to have you as a subscriber to TigerBait, and you'll get all our premium content. And we really would like to have you be a part of our TigerBait community there. All right, everybody. Good night. Y'all have a good rest of the weekend.